welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man that is about to answer a very random question. It's Jake Lewitt.
Hello. Hold on to your butts.
So Jay and I, we're the co-hosts of Deep Blue Sea, the podcast. And in that film, we've talked chapter by chapter, 33 episodes about Deep Blue Sea. We love it. But one of the most iconic moments in Deep Blue Sea is when Russell Franklin, played by Samuel L. Jackson, is killed. I mean, it's a surprise moment that's on every surprise moment death. It's iconic, Jay, right? It's got to be on every list when it comes out.
Yeah, it's as I've said on that podcast, it was the first scene of Deep Blue Sea I saw. A friend of mine, a former friend of mine, this is the day he stopped becoming my friend. So you have to watch this bit of this film, and he fast forwarded his VHS because that's in the past to the scene where Sam Jackson gets killed, and he showed me that. I was like, oh, that was great. And then it was kind of ruined for me.
Oh man,
the highlight of the film. So when I watched the film, I was like, oh, it's going to happen at some point. Oh, there it is. Okay, really wish I'd seen that in like the cinema or with the rest of the film. But it's even with that heart-wrenching story, it's still an incredible sequence. So Simon Postlethwaite, you're on my list. But thank you for introducing me to this wonderful film.
If you were making a list about surprise deaths in movies and you left that death out, you're being cheeky. You're being what's the word? You're trying to antagonize people by leaving that out.
You're just wrong. You haven't had the glories of Deep Blue Sea introduced you yet, perhaps. But yeah, if it's not on there, then you've made a mistake. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if you've
do more research.
Yeah,
watch more films. See Deep Blue Sea.
If you've seen it and you left it out, you're wrong. Even though it's a subjective list, I think 99.99% would just say, yeah, you're wrong. Yeah. So since we talk about that death almost every single episode for 33 episodes over months, I wanted to ask you. Often, yes. Yeah, I wanted to ask you a really random question. And you know, on Movies, Films, and Flicks in the past, we used to have a lot of listener questions that were super random. But the problem is, we would talk about them for 40 minutes, and then we talk about for two movies for about 30 minutes. So the random questions sort of took over the episode. So we kind of lost them to focus more on the movies. But lately, I've kind of had a hankering to talk more. I just want to answer more dumb questions, and I have a lot of fun. They're quick episodes, and so I have a super random question for you. All right, you ready for this?
Okay.
All right, so someone comes up to you, Jay, and says, I'm a genie. I've been around for billions of years.
I have many questions already.
Okay. All right, they just saunters up to you. And listen, so here's the deal. This is what's going to happen to you. You're going to die 3 times. And you have to pick which ones you would rather, like, in order from best to worst. You die in all of them, but it goes from best to worst. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to recreate Samuel L. Jackson's deaths from Deep Blue Sea, 1993's Jurassic Park, and 2017's Kong Skull Island. Movies in which genetically modified or massive monsters kill Sam Jackson. All right, so are you on board with this? Do you understand what the genie's asking you?
I do, yes. So I'm dying 3 times. I'm going to experience all of these deaths, and I need to work out kind of what order, which one's going to be the best one or the worst one.
Wow, you nailed it. You said it much more eloquently than I did. Now, the genie looks at you and says, listen, I'm going to give you a few weeks to wrap your head around this because you just realized that I am a genie.
I just discovered that genies exist.
Yep. You now know that magical beings who can kill you 3 times exist on this planet and have existed for billions of years. Your entire viewpoint of this world and everything you know is wrong.
Like, not only do genies exist, but their primary focus seems to be, I'm going to kill you. Several times. Via methods from popular culture that you love. Enjoy.
Right. Yeah, I'll see you later. I'll be back at this time in 3 weeks. Get your stuff straight.
Yeah, get your affairs in order. Maybe watch these films a few times.
And the genie says to you, there's one caveat. So, if you pick the correct order...
Oh, hello.
I will let you live after experiencing the 3 deaths.
Okay, so my next 3 weeks would then be spent getting to know this genie as well as possible. Because this is subjective. I need to try and guess what their correct order is.
Yeah, so, wow. You could take him to the pub. You can cook for him, bake for him.
Well, I think I would try and get the genie to watch these 3 films with me and try and gauge their reaction at the Sam Jackson. If there's like a cringe, like, oh, when he gets smushed by a giant Kong fist, or if there's a, yeah, when he gets taken out mid-monologue, then I try and gauge that to see. This is a very strange question.
What if the genie looked at you and said, I just hate it when people try to guess what I love. I want them to pick with their hearts, and if their hearts are true, then...
Okay, so...
This guy's, he's this genie, this person, no form, I mean, just they.
Ethereal mist.
Yeah, ethereal mist, which would be even creepier than if Will Smith or Robin Williams popped up, and Robin Williams' genie popped up, as we know it. Genie's a Shazam, Shaquille O'Neal pop up and talk to you, because that's a form that you can see. This is a mist, blood red, wearing a hat.
Jesus.
Wearing a hat.
What kind of hat?
A trucker hat.
Okay.
Trucker hat.
I was picturing a fez. No, I'll take a trucker hat.
Trucker hat. Just talking to you. Von Dutch. So,
okay.
You get to know it. 3 weeks, and here are the deaths. So, Deep Blue Sea. You have to memorize Russell Franklin's monologue, recreate his steps exactly, and then a 26-foot shark jumps up behind you and murders you as you are finishing up your monologue. In Kong Skull Island, you are about to blow up a Kong and potentially a skinwalker, Skullcrawler, whatever they are. But before you can blow that up and finish saying mother effer, you get squashed by a Kong fist. You get whack-a-moled into the ground, smooshed. Or we don't quite know what happens. Yeah. But you go to mess with a circuit breaker to turn the power back on, and you are murdered by a raptor, and your body's either above the raptors and your arm falls, or the raptor throws your arm up in the air. Somehow you lose your arm and you lose your life. All right. I guess in the book, the raptor stands on him and puts its big toe into his chest. So let's assume that happens, and then rips off your arm. So that's the order. And so 3 weeks go by. You've watched the movies with the genie, and the genie says to you, pick the right order. What's the order that you want to die in Samuel L. Jackson's deaths in his 3 movies where he gets smushed by monsters?
Okay. So I think pain, is going to be a key factor here. And I think that the Kong Skull Island death is the least painful. It appears to be the quickest. It's a giant smush.
Yes.
The Deep Blue Sea death, it's mid monologue. It comes out of nowhere. The Kong one, he can see it coming. He knows what's going to happen.
Yes.
He's swearing at a giant gorilla. He knows that's not going to end well. The Deep Blue Sea death, I feel like he's partially prepared because it's in a dangerous environment, dangerous circumstances, but he's mid monologue. So first we're going to seal off this pool. Dead. And so then he's dragged down into the water. His head is ripped off by a second formerly unseen shark. He's going to be feeling stuff with the chewing. That's going to be painful. I think the raptors, most painful.
Yeah.
As Sam Neill tells us at the start of the film, they start to eat you whilst you're still alive. Your intestines are spilling out as they eat you. Also, it's not confirmed that he's actually dead. We don't know. He's missing an arm. He's probably dead. There's dinosaurs that eat people. It's probably gone. But it's never confirmed. But we have to assume that, yes, he's dead. So he's gone down there to try and turn the power back on. It's dark. He's on his own. It's raptors. That's going to be terrifying. He's going to be scared. He's going to expect it to be coming, but he's going to be scared the entire time. So I think that would probably be the worst death because of the protracted nature of it. Just the sheer terror. I love dinosaurs. I'd love the chance to meet one, but I'd rather not be killed by one if that's given. So my ranking would be Jurassic Park is the worst death, then Deep Blue Sea, and then Kong Skull Island does the best.
And I agree too, because as Russell Franklin's being dragged into the water, he is still screaming. So not only does he get
enjoying the experience.
And also in his head, he's probably thinking, "You're so dumb. Why'd you stay close to the water?" So you're feeling foolish while you're being consumed.
About sealing off the pool.
Yeah,
it's in your head.
It's technically his fault because he got too into his monologue.
Well, technically, it's entirely.
Yeah,
there's no arguing with this. It's his fault.
It's entirely his fault. Kong, Skull Island. He could have done things differently. He was driven by revenge too much, but he's not getting out of that situation. He is trying to die. So and he gets smushed. I mean, he becomes flatter than a penny after Kong smushes him.
Yeah, he is dead almost immediately.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, that's gone. His whole body is concentrated up into a puddle, and he's out.
Just imagine the bone breakage in that 0.001 seconds. Just everything snaps. Wow. His head would go down to like his stomach. Just go into it.
Yeah, he's just there. There's no vertical component to him anymore. Everything's just on a flat plane.
So we've established the pain. In Jurassic Park, he's doing something heroic, and
True, yeah.
He suffers horribly for it, and a long, protracted death. In Deep Blue Sea, it's
trying to do something heroic. He's trying to do the big inspirational monologue, and it does inspire people to get the heck out of there, because he dies. It's not the way he wanted to, but it does. It's successful.
And Kong Skull Island, he knew he was going to die. He just went on that mission.
He's the villain of that film. He's the bad guy.
So you're trying to be heroic is your fault, or you're just on a suicide mission to die. And this is how but comically large creatures get you, or genetically modified monsters.
The kind of heroicism is opposite to the pain. So those ones, the Jurassic Park one's the best one. and then Steve see, then it's Kong.
Yeah, because killing himself and Kong is the coward's way out.
Yeah. He could easily have stepped down. He's like set a bunch of charges around Kong to kill him. He could, like, everyone's against him.
Yeah.
He could have just turned to like Tom Hiddleston and Brie Larson's like, you know what, you guys, you're right. I'll calm down. I'll take these charges away. Let's go home. But no, he doubles down and he's a soldier. They're all to kill people, apparently. Kill everything. He doubles down, he digs in, and he gets smushed.
What would happen if he got grabbered? And so in the movie Grabbers, a guy gets flicked, and he ends up flying 150 yards to his doom. What if Kong did that to him?
He'd still die.
Yeah.
That would make it a worse death. It would be protracted terror, maybe a slight inkling of hope that you might be able to grab hold of a tree branch, kind of cartoon style, and survive, or like land on a soft part. But then you're on Skull Island. You're going to be killed by something else. There's those weird two-legged dinosaur things. There's the giant spiders that pierce you as you're walking through a cane field.
Gas mask, Tom Hiddleston.
Fantastic. Yeah, everything's going to kill you on that island. If he's flicked and survives, he's still going to die. So that would make that death worse. So he would both be the villain and a painful, protracted death. So that would easily be the worst one.
So this genie's in your house. You put down some plastic so the red mist doesn't stain your couch. You prepare it some tea, and it sits down. It's like, give me the order. What's the order? What are you picking?
I gotta go with my gut, and my gut says to try and go pain, like focus on the pain. So I'd say Jurassic Park worse, then Deep Blue Sea, then Kong Skull Island.
The genie says no.
I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of going that way, but that's what I would do.
Oh man! So the genie looks at you, sits there for about 2-3 minutes, finishing its tea. You're stressing because you don't know if you've picked right.
This is the worst part.
The genie looks at you and just looks annoyed, and just walks out the house and leaves. Lets you live.
Oh, so the genie is annoyed because I get to live.
Yep.
Okay, well, that genie sucks. That's a horrible genie.
Because it makes sense. Like, just the first one, be heroic, get that out of the way, and then they're just going to get easier. So now you got to go through all those.
But so I still have to go through them and then survive after that.
Yeah, you get to get killed 3 times though. And you're gonna remember it too. The genie's like, I could wipe your brain, but I'm not.
Oh, wonderful.
And then the genie also messes with you and changes your name to Earl. And that's what you think your name is for the rest of your life.